One of the questions that I get most often in my line of work is, well, how did I get into this line of work? And there's a pretty simple answer to that question, and that is simply that I grew up in the circus. And while that's accurate, it's also a little misleading. Because yeah, sure, my dad was and still is a circus performer, but both my parents were very adamant on me getting a normal education. And that means I grew up with one foot in the circus world and one foot very firmly in the normal world. I was in the same school system, K through 12, in the suburbs of New York City. I'd go to school during the week and then perform with my dad on the weekends, or sometimes I'd even miss a full month of school so I could go on tour with my dad. And that was awesome when I was younger, but it got a little less awesome as I got older. Because you see, when you're 7 years old, having a circus dad is really, really cool. It's less cool when you're 17. And because I had different experiences than the kids I went to school with, I never felt like I really fit in. I felt different. And so for a while, I actually shied away from the circus. I did 0 circus performing between the ages of 11 and 16. I eventually came back to it for very simple reasons. My dad offered to pay me a whole bunch of money to help him out with a show. I started practicing again, got pretty good with whips, and by the time I went off to college, I basically had my own show that I could perform. And while I was at college, I realized, yeah, I was different, but that wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Because yeah, sure, I might be different, but the skills I got from being different allowed me to pay off my student loans, allowed me to live on a very, very tight salary from my first radio job, and all that money that I made from performing eventually went towards a down payment on a house. The ways in which I'm different definitely made my childhood a lot harder, but they've also given me a lot of advantages as an adult. And really, they make me who I am. I spent 13 years working for a radio station in Boston, and one of my best friends there came and saw my show after years of working together. And he said to me, "The Jack that I saw on stage was the truest form of you I've ever seen." So if you're feeling different, and like maybe you don't really fit in where you are, just remember, that might not necessarily be a bad thing. Cheers.